All right, here we go again. Yay! Welcome to another episode of the Sunshine State Happy Hour, powered by Florida Beer Blog and the Florida Beer Podcast. And I'm going to mess this around and up. And I'm back. Ooh, I'm all fuzzy now. Yeah, this is why you mess with your camera before you start, not after you go live. This is Dave, your host and author. Steve, it's gorgeous outside.
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm sure you're enjoying working outside in this weather.
I like working outside in this weather.
Oh, I know.
Might actually do overtime on Monday.
All right. So, as I have alluded to on social media, we lost a heavyweight in the American legal system, one Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And as you can tell by the clothing coming from both of our guests right now. Yeah, there we go. To do the shirts. It's the same shirt. It's like the twinsies. Oh God, I hate you both.
Right.
Yeah,
that's rough. I didn't get one.
You didn't get one?
I didn't get one.
We got plenty more coming.
Okay, well that's good. So yes, so the aptly named Dissent Craft Brewing, and I have to know, like, we'll ask as to whether this was just fortune or whether it actually there was something behind it. Has in the past, and I know you still got some other stuff that's going on to celebrate the life of said Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And so we had to bring a couple people in. One is the jack of all trades for Dissent Craft Brewing. One, Ryan Carey. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
And then Keith, who is gracious enough to come to us from Bay Area Beer Blogger. Definitely have to say hi to Craft Beer Ballers, who had us both on their thing not too long ago. Hopefully they're watching this. And is also a beer tender at Dissent. Gentlemen, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. So, I know, Steve, you cracked open some Funky Buddha. Obviously, not only are you repping the crowler, but you've also got the glass. What are you drinking? It just says black. It just says black. He's also muted.
He's muted.
You're muted. Uh-oh.
Thanks for the heads up on that one.
You're more than welcome.
It's beautiful. It's the Funky Buddha rendition of it. It's actually super good, super smooth. I might have to pick another crowler of it to bring over your place one day.
Nice. That sounds like fun. And then, Ryan, Keith, are you drinking stuff from Dissent, or are you just going to be craft beer hacks and do something different?
I really wanted to drink a Miller High Life because I got a fridge full of them, but we just finished up all three of our core IPAs, and the beer that made me like excited to work for Dissent is one of them, and that would be our Frequency, our double IPA, little like spaceman guy.
Nice.
It's quite tasty, malty, hoppy. It won gold last year at Best Florida Beer, so it started it all for us.
Nice. And Keith, what do you have going on?
I've got the pass holder from Dissent. So
his brainchild.
My brain. Pineapple Vanilla Berliner.
Oh.
10 IPAs in there too that were just canned today. I'm pretty psyched for those.
Something tells me that has a reference to some other sort of Florida-based company. Not that I can put my finger on it or anything. I'm just.
I hear
possible.
It's around town, somewhere in the middle.
It'd be magical to figure out where it was.
Yeah, it's the most magical beer in Tampa Bay. If you ask us,
and it's funny how much that one particular. Oh, hey, there's a castle with fireworks. Castle,
the Haynes Road version.
There's a tasty treat that I'm not sure where this comes from.
Yeah.
You don't know. It looks like a unicorn with ears. You just don't know. You just don't know.
The font on the label is also very unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's a font that you can buy on a generator. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Cease and desist.
Like back when I had AOL Instant Messenger, I'm pretty sure I had this font, and it drove people crazy. It's not like
that's the beer that helped us out during the last few months. It kept us pretty busy. We had released it during Tampa Bay Beer Week, which to us in Tampa Bay, that was like the last bit of civilization.
Yeah.
It feels like 15 years ago.
Yeah, shut down like right in the middle. Like I remember the
St. Patrick's Day was the week after, and all the events coming up to it. But we released that, and all those the pass holes, as we've come to know that they like to be called. They came out and helped support us.
Oh, for
Nice.
sure.
Allow us to keep trying to become a real brewery. Like,
Yeah, they were buying flats of it. Just like, hey, I need a full like flat of this beer, and it was crazy.
Is there any even left at the brewery?
it's constantly in production. We always have some Berliner ready to go.
Yeah.
So it's basically become one of those beers where it's like it was going to be a one-off and it just became too popular to really let go.
Just like your pass holder fees, it's year round. It's there with them.
Hopefully, like
we in opening up in Lakeland here in the next few months. That will be just another little small step
sure.
over in that direction.
Yeah, I was going to say,
drive.
That was kind of interesting because I did hear about Lakeland and didn't know, because I've heard a lot of different plans that have gone on with everybody wanting to explore bigger distribution and bigger footprint, and then COVID just came in and sort of destroyed all of that. But you are moving forward with Lakeland?
Yeah, that all happened right when we were getting our final approvals. It's looking like at least end of January, February. We're very excited to get out there. Lakeland's a cool little town, and we're excited to get to know our neighbors from, the joinery. You got Swan Brewing and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Make some beer magic happen.
Nice. Is it the old Lakeland Brewing spot, or is it someplace else?
It's over on South Kentucky Avenue. It's next to Pita Pit, and in the bank right there. There's a lot of awesome restaurants surrounding us. They are all anxiously waiting. Our logo is on the window. I've spent the last few weekends in Lakeland. It is an awesome town.
I know.
Nice.
Social media, like, seem to repost that people fix the windows and stuff. Like, can't wait till you're here.
and it is like we're just very fortunate from the community around us supporting us the last few months. Like, that's been huge. Seeing it firsthand, like. If anyone ever picked up cans, it was either me, Keith was there. We put a lot of attention and detail over the last few months, and it's allowed us to, like Keith said, we got a canning line in. We ran some IPA through it today. He's got some in his fridge. I got some in my fridge. It's fun. Lakeland's going to be cool. Just working on that the tap room experience type thing. Distribution would be a cool idea, but why rush into it? You don't know what's going to happen, but as long as you can come to us, get beers safely, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. So it's great that you got the canned beers in your fridge. Steve and I don't.
Right.
So let's talk about something else.
Love to get in contact with me, and we will gladly send you some of everything.
Overflow beer and our beer, and it's just been a life.
Nice. Well, yeah, and actually, I guess we're going to talk about her. I promise you. But we talked about Lakeland, but St. Pete, and I kind of started to get come to the realization that St. Petersburg is my favorite Florida beer city because there is so much going on, and I do have to mention my last can of a Little Juicy from my friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
the good people, $3.
Yeah, so and it's interesting because where Dissent is located, you're kind of north. You're almost out of St. Pete, but you're still technically within the city limits. So you've got Flying Boat so close, and then not too far beneath that is sort of central with everything.
Oh yeah, we are definitely off the beaten path. But we're one of those like fun spots. Like when you take those beaten paths, you take those adventures, you're going to find some solid beers at the end. Haynes Road, we love joking about Haynes Road.
That Haynes Road life.
Over the last few months, seeing the people, the younger people moving into the area and finding out, oh hey, there's a brewery around the corner. That's been cool to see. But St. Pete, you got some of the best. I mean, Green Bench is one of my absolute favorites, and they're good friends. Pinellas Ale Works, If I Brewed the World. There's everybody is awesome, and it's been a cool community. We did a COVID crawler crawl with Flying Boat, Avid, and Beer Boutique.
That's awesome.
If you love beer and you're ever in St. Pete, like that's the place you want to eat.
Beer Boutique.
Make your own tater tots.
Food and the tater.
I mean, has St. Pete hit that point of legendary beer status that new breweries are having a hard time to move in, or is it still a welcoming scene?
There's an opening.
I think it's a welcoming scene.
Yeah. Grand Central's in like build out mode. I mean, I know a friend of mine was over there checking out the brewery yesterday. Amazing. So there's new stuff and welcoming.
Nice.
And it's interesting. I know Grand Central, they poached Flying Boat's original brewmaster, correct?
Yeah, that's Tyler. Yeah, that's like
the
thing. I'm very excited for them. Definitely getting to know Tyler through my buddy Dom with Beer Culture has been.
He's
awesome.
Just a damn
and he makes really good beer, and they're good people. I love good people.
Nice. Let's talk about Dissent, because I know it looks like you got 3 IPAs that are core, and obviously you've got the Berliner, kind of like we mentioned. Really walking into Dissent, what is that sort of like? What can we expect?
We got 20 taps, and our 20 taps can hit just about everybody along every spectrum. I find great joy in finding beer for people that they won't expect, like our Saison is one of our core beers. A lot of people that drink the wheat, they'll just be like, I want beer. I named a beer. It's called beer. It's a lager. It's exactly what those people want when they walk in. Our customers love it. Our Pilsners are really good. The Berliners, we got the annual pass holder. But our Blueberry Marshmallow and the Living the Dreamsicle, which we've had pretty much since, definitely since I've been there, and watching those bring people in. It allows us to have fun styles. Like we did an Arnold Palmer for the Masters weekend. Our peanut butter and jelly brown bag lunch is pretty good when we throw that into rotation. Your solid hazy mangover is. If you like spice in beer, and there's a lot of people that search that out, it's the best.
Interesting. But you've had at least one on tap, and I know Keith was telling me that there's another one in barrels to beers to celebrate the life of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And it's an interesting, I guess, person for a brewery in St. Pete to sort of pick up. So I guess my first question is, the name is clearly can be construed as an homage to her, because she did have a couple very famous, very influential dissents. Leadbetter v. Goodyear kind of pops to mind. And I guess my first thought is, where did the name Dissent come from for a craft brewery? And was that the impetus to celebrate her when she passed?
So Dissent was started by our owner, Chris Price, and at the time his business partner. They were two guys working in the corporate world. They saw it as their chance to speak out. They really couldn't do that within their own organizations. That's why our slogan is Outspoken Ales by Outspoken People. One of our current owners, Ashley, one of her role models has always been Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She has been pushing for that. We had talked about doing a beer or something in homage to her, thinking that we had more time. I think everybody can agree we had more time. I had spoken to my brother who had done the logo for us about like doing different historical figures, and hers
And
was
do you-
one of the first ones.
Do one of you have the logo? Just the regular logo, not the Ruth Bader Ginsburg version.
Oh, yeah.
So we can show the difference between. Okay, so that's the original logo. That is what you can see when you go to Dissent, the normal logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see that,
Okay.
like, this is it's something that we can like play around with. It's got we can adapt it to other historical people who have spoken out. There's been other names thrown around in aspects to that, but we didn't expect merch. We had posted whenever people ask me what dissent means, I tell them that, and then I tell them like they still don't know what dissent means.
Like the term,
and I go, you know, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg does in the Supreme Court, and sometimes people are just like, I don't know what that means. But then there's other people that are like, okay, I can see what that is. I mean, you get a red card for dissent in soccer for speaking out against a referee, so it's like just a fancy fight the man type of word.
And I get asked like at least, I don't know, probably once a week at a bar shift what it means. Like, why do we have that logo? What's it comes up regularly.
Interesting. And so, obviously, fresh off of the Tiger King beer that you had, we lost.
Best of the Bay.
Nice. We lost the Notorious RBG. And how quickly was the decision made to push the first beer through? Because it seemed like it was a treatment of something that you had. How quickly was it decided to put through, and then what was that beer?
We did the Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It was our Hefeweizen base. Ashley had texted Jeremy and said that she wanted to do a beer with ginger. So we made it happen. We used to have a ginger wheat beer on before that had different names. One of them, it was always talked about like having that name around, but it just never came to fruition. The beer that we have planned is got a lot more thought into it. It's going to be a barrel aged beer with a proper treatment, merchandise, bottles, and all that stuff. Like proceeds will go to like the right organizations just to that speak her message clear.
Nice. Well, you did show, so you've shown the original logo. Now, can we take a closer look at the Ruth Bader Ginsburg logo that you both have on your shirts, which is Keith has got it. So it obviously, so it's got some similar things, but obviously you've got the iconic color and the hairdo and so on. Oh, nice. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you said that the merchandise has sold like hotcakes.
There was a lot of groups reaching out to us from different Facebook groups asking us if we can do. We're still a pretty small, business. We weren't expecting this to really happen. I photoshopped the original glass, the picture announcing the beer. There was people walking in asking to buy a glass that didn't even exist. So we made it exist. We didn't want to sell like all these through the different Facebook groups. We wanted to sell it to the people that come in and buy our stuff. That's why we've done such small quantities right now. We have a lot of regulars. I know Keith doesn't have one, but he will be getting one. We can get you guys one. We just had a regular who he made a pretty good case, so we gave him the rest of the case, but they were used as gifts.
Nice. And so you had the Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And then I know, Keith, when you had messaged me about the show, you had mentioned the beer that you currently have resting. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that is going to be and when we can expect that to release?
Which one?
The one that you currently have in barrels. The true.
Ryan,
Like,
It's all. So
I'm just trying to bring Keith into it a little bit more.
It's a barrel. It's going into our Booker's bourbon barrels. It's going to be a nice big imperial stout. We're using the initials, the RBG. It's probably going to be a fruited stout with a little bit of the ginger spice, so raspberry, blackberry, with a nice bit of chocolate characteristic that I think will really come together well with the barrel. And then it's going to be this logo with her crown, because she deserves to always be wearing a crown. So it's going to have the Biggie crown sitting on her head.
Nice. Since this release, since you did the merchandise, since you did the beer, since you've done the other stuff, have you started to become the Ruth Bader Ginsburg Brewery in the Bay Area?
I don't know if that can. I mean, people do associate that after when she passed. There was the customers that came in that day were specifically drinking there because our name was Dissent. There was customers reaching out to buy merchandise from Chicago because our name was Dissent. We didn't expect this. None of us we'd rather have her here, but.
And I mean, yeah, no one was expecting. That's why the first treatment beer was very quick, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't have to. Yeah. And then Ryan,
when the owners say, when we just do it.
It's kind of awesome. And so you said you've got glassware coming, and obviously once the stout releases, you said you'll have the full a full merchandise line for that.
And that will be released. Tampa Bay Beer Week also happens to align with her birthday. I believe it's like March 15th, somewhere around there. But that would be the day we release everything. We'll have the full glasses, shirts, different glasses, nice stemware.
Party is what we're gonna do. Right, proper birthday party for the Queen.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned
we can go back to normal. We all
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Be smart.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I know that when she passed, I think there were a couple of messages, and I think I even released something on social media talking about recipes and whatnot. And somebody mentioned that she was Jewish and passed away on Passover, and since nuts and honey are such a big part of that holiday, I wonder if that's something that you may use going forward. Do you see this being a yearly release just because of her sort of inadvertently becoming almost a patron saint of the brewery, notwithstanding and creating something every year?
I think it will very well become a yearly type release. I mean, when you look at how breweries operate with the releases, you always want to pick something that's good that you can do on a yearly basis. We hope to strive to hit that model so that we can make these on a yearly basis. We celebrated 2 years in the middle of a quarantine, so we really haven't been able to really show everybody what we got. Our Mexican chocolate cake stout is on our second year of releasing that, and it is solid. We got some other fun things in the works. We've always done like a peanut butter and banana stout has been a crowd favorite. So looking to do that in other form, possibly barrel aged.
Caramel apple. Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, the caramel apple brandy. All the apple characteristic came from a fresh brandy barrel. It's amazing. Jeremy tossed in a couple bags of the Werther's Originals and spun them on that. We watched them disintegrate in the sight glass. So it's got a little subtle caramelness, but it's not like a piece of pastry style. It's still got like a true like Russian-esque stout characteristic.
That one blows my mind too, because there is no like apple is just all barrel, but you taste apple like you get it. Everybody's like, I can't believe that barrel, man.
Barrels are wild.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a good question, because how do you, as a brewery, how do you toe that line? Because, you know, obviously you're releasing some wonderfully treated barrel-aged beers, and yet you've got a beer called beer, which seems to be as completely unfussy as possible. How do you make sure that you don't go too far one way or the other?
We like to just have fun. I mean, Keith is named a lot of our beers. I ask the bartenders all the time. We've hosted competitions with customers. We're always, if you have any beer suggestions, please send them to Ryan Carey at Dissent Craft Brewing, and we'll put them in the name file, because I was like, I'm calling it beer. Let's see how it works, and it works.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to get that beer that fits a specific 4-letter word name that you need to have in the batch, you know?
Exactly. And then we have like Honey Just Old Fashioned. That was a one-time barrel-aged beer. Pass holder was annual pass holder sticker. That was way too many words to write on a Crowler can.
Yeah.
So it got cut down.
Yeah, but APS is a great acronym for beer.
Oh, you are not wrong. AP is a pretty fun one too.
Right? You need to make one for the college program kids that all just got fired in the past year.
We did make what we like to call a pandemic pilsner, and we called it Wuhan Got You All in Check Pils.
There you go.
It's really good. It's one of the best crispy boys.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so good.
And we got a Shores beer that's just called Shores beer.
So I'm just waiting for our sampler pack to make it to South Florida so we can try all these beers.
Gladly.
Just don't send the pandemic with you. We don't need
all
anyone
those
down here.
Keith,
what were you saying?
What were you saying, Keith?
Like, for all that though, like, we have a Solera project too. Like, we have a good wild ale that's doing some fun stuff too. Like, we just did 2 versions of that. I'm psyched about, because those are my like favorites. But man, we don't stick to the one style. Like, we've got 2 taps, and we try to have fun with all of them, I think.
And that's where the pandemic has been kind of helpful to breweries, where you guys can sit on beers now for a period of time you couldn't usually before. You have a little more freedom to let stuff soak and ferment and play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pilsners and lagers and the doubles and the box and everything have held up pretty well in the in the kegs.
When people are making lagers, because they're like, well, I can use this tank for 6 to 8 weeks and not worry that it's, you know, take a ton of real estate that I need.
Right.
But I know I've seen more of those beers in the market right now. Go to breweries, they're like, oh yeah, check out our lager, and I'm like, oh, I like that. And we have that Schwartz beer that's like,
the Shores beer is very, very good. It's a love of myself and the brewer and the owner. Like we had to make it. We did just do a old ale, because that's a thing that everybody rushes to do. We did with our friend Bastet Brewing over in
just opened.
Yeah, shout out Houston and
Houston's
Tom.
awesome, man.
They're great people. Very excited for their beers at tap. We're going to toss it in a bourbon barrel, and that's going to sit for a while. Houston has been good friends of myself and Jeremy's for quite some time. So to finally get to do something like this, love
We've
much love to that guy.
Like Ryan, you
was that
guys have
again?
been busy. You guys have been doing collabs. We did the Broken Strings and then the Broken Strings return collab. I think Brewbus, right?
Yeah, we got a Brew Bus beer coming out hopefully in the next week and a half. That's where it all started for me. So to finally get it to do something with those guys, my buddy Jake, who left there and he's now at Modern Times. He's crushing it. So love him, love Kevin and the staff over there. So excited to get that. It's going to be a limoncello double IPA, lemon zest and vanilla. It's really good.
Yeah,
we like having
barrel stuff. Friends. I'm super stoked for those Broken Strings bottles. Those are gonna be fun.
Broken Strings will be in the next round beer week.
That's
so
a while.
Yeah, that'll be a long time, but
that's gonna be difficult. Having
fun.
So it's going to be difficult having so many styles, trying to get them around, and then having a wild ale program that if you mess up and don't respect the culture can infect and just destroy everything.
Oh, that is a passion project of Chris's, and I mean, it's a very unique. We just had two sit on some two different wine grapes, a red and a white. Let those set for a few months, and now they're going to just bottle condition. And we'll see. Bacteria is fun.
I mean, it's what I want it to be. It can sit for a little while in bottle condition, but they're gonna be great.
Right.
It's when those people that come in that go, oh, do you have any sours? And you hand them that, and they'll be like, oh, this is disgusting. You're like, but that's a sour. That's what it is.
Sorry.
It doesn't have lactose or vanilla. Sorry.
It's amazing. And Keith, I was going to ask, when you're at the bar, what are some of the interesting things that you get asked in terms of, do you have X? And of course, I asked him that question just as he disappears into his wondrous beer fridge of amazing goodies. Okay.
I hand labeled that with love. Just know that.
I'm sure you did.
It's so good.
4 cases. Yeah.
And over you guys don't that over quarantine, we milked that hand steamer to death. Like it got a lot.
So excited to get our Wild Goose Gosling.
Yeah. So glad.
That's funny.
Right. It's like over in Fort Myers or wherever they are they were releasing growlers as their cans. Like they were doing everything from a growler machine and sending it out to Total Wine. It was insane.
We weren't saying it.
That is wild to hear.
Well, I mean, and we have friends down at Corporate Ladder, and those guys are hand canning everything for their releases. Wild, people are working their butts off to sell this beer. Ryan included, man. That dude, I puts in so many hours at the brewery. He's there when I leave sometimes, and he's there when I get there the next day sometimes. So, yeah.
It's amazing the hours and
do everything.
Yeah, and that's why you got to support your local craft brewery and actually go to the brewery to purchase everything.
Absolutely.
So
the people that waited 40 minutes to get some cans in April, they're the MVPs.
Oh yes, you guys that put in those online orders for 6 and 10 4-packs of beer, you guys were saving grace. We appreciate you guys so
Granted,
much.
we'd walk in and be like, are you serious? But in the long run, we're just happy that people want to buy that much beer from us. That's what that didn't happen when I started.
Oh, the one, I just remember coming in one day and there was a $300 order of cans, and I'm like, no, I want to go back around, but that's awesome that we're pulling in that that person that wants that beer that from Orlando. They saw us in a pass holder group on Facebook and were like, I need that beer because it reminds me of that
His
place.
email address said beer trader, so like
Well,
that's flattering. Honestly, if you think we're that, like, okay, thank you. We were not trying.
Hey, that's what we're
It just-
joking. We're turning into a hype brewery. It's going to be a thing, and then like we're just going to keep making beer.
Yeah, we're just going to keep brewing beers and pilsners.
I would honestly love to put together a Dole Whip porter. So I know there's at least 2 of y'all out there that make a Dole Whip flavored beer. So there's got to be 2 more.
We've seen a lot of places making Dole Whip beer as of late. I mean, when Disney put the recipe online, it's been there the whole time.
Flattery, I mean, imitation is flattery, and I mean that's like German chocolate cake. Like everyone makes a German chocolate cake stout, like, or everyone makes a Mexican chocolate stout. Like those are things. It's a dessert.
Yeah.
Our label for Mexican chocolate cake is Control-C, Control-V, which is copy and paste. That shout out the troll on Facebook for saying it wasn't an original idea, but I mean everybody makes a Mexican chocolate cake.
Right.
It's like saying you can't name yours. I'm sorry. And the one I'm hearing, like people are asking now, and Ryan, I'll talk to you after. But the Coquito, man, people were pumped for that one to come back again.
That Coquito, we have a lot of Christmas beers coming out, and the Coquito is one that came to fruition last year, and it is fully planned out this year and ready for. We're going to be selling in 16-ounce cans through our awesome canning line, and we are so excited. We got Florida Christmas Ale. We got it's Christmas. Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, small brewery Sunday, second annual Brewers Association.
See, I always feel like Florida Christmas should be like something coconut.
I think it should be the barley wine.
I'm all about
coconut barley. There you go.
Barley wines are life. I would like a coconut barley wine. When I worked at Masteries, we had one, and it was
nice.
I've got one from Broken Strings, Scotch barrel aged barley wine. Like I'm pretty pumped for that sometime. That's a drink with friends. Not trying to chug a barley wine, Jason.
Yeah, you're making my head swim. But now, unfortunately, not only do I need another beer, but I also need a Dole Whip, which is going to be impossible for me to search out.
Possibly. We will gladly get that over to you guys.
The Dole Whip? The frozen one?
The alcoholic one.
Pacific Counter in St. Pete's got Dole Whips on deck, so shout out those guys.
Nice. Well, gentlemen.
Do like a version of one, I wonder? That'd be fun. They should do one.
Barrel-aged Dole Whip beer?
Oh, we should do. So
it's going to go in the rum barrel as soon as we. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. I didn't want to speak out of turn because I'm like, I don't know what we're. But yeah, that's the thing that we've talked about. A rum barrel, having fun with it. So that's what I mean. I love. Ryan and Jeremy are not afraid to play around and have fun back there. I mean, like they do some fun stuff. And Jeremy's experience, man, come from some great breweries and great stuff. Like
brings a lot of knowledge and experience. And I mean, Chris with all his years of home brewing, like we're always in communication, bouncing ideas off for what's to come, what's next, and the upcoming steps. We're excited. We got.
Chris, he did the Brewing Arts program. He's got connections. Yeah.
Which keeps churning out all sorts of great people, which is nice to see. It's once again, St. Pete is just becoming the craft beer center for Florida, which is amazing.
It is. Tampa Bay in general, like you can't go wrong with either side of the bay, but we have some pretty good ones on the St. Pete side. Not gonna lie. I mean, Cycle is top in the world. has been rated top in the world. I mean, Green Bench is friends with all those funky Belgian breweries, so that brings in a lot of people, and then it's the small guys that get sought out, like us flying out.
Right, and Green Bench blows my mind. Their wild ales, but also like just their clean beer too. I mean, like they kill the clean beer, and like watching Chris like Facebook stuff about the almost no oxygen in any of those beers.
It always makes me laugh. I watch a lot of like the international beer bloggers on YouTube, and they all talk about when they go to St. Pete. They're like, "This is one of the best places in the world for beer." They're like, "You can't go wrong here."
When people say they don't like it, and I'm like, "When have you been back recently?" They're like, "No, it's been a while." I'm like, "You need to go back like now, because they are across the board. Some like you can't. They're what we all want to be."
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you got a good thing going on. I'm definitely excited to try some of these beers, and I definitely am looking forward to your Ruth Bader Ginsburg barrel release, which is happening in March, correct?
March,
yeah, for
Beer Week.
Tampa Bay Beer Week. So obviously, you should follow them. How can we follow Dissent and get more information on that? Where do we find you?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and pick back up the Twitter at Dissent Craft Brewing. Yeah.
And there's
awesome.
Post our stuff, you'll get reposted, shout outs. We love suggestions, anything like that. And our website, dissentcraftbrewing.com, where you can purchase any merchandise. Probably going to get more of the RBG shirts since they sold out pretty quickly. So get more of those in the next few weeks, and some other fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, and Facebook, we have two Facebookers. Keep track of the Lakeland, like what's happening over there, for updates for that. And then Ryan is good about the Facebook. He keeps our social media like rolling.
Social media is fun. I like you said, jack of all trades, man of many hats. Today I milled beer, wrote several Instagram posts, clean lines, kegged, ran a canning jog as we called it, and fun day. Love it. Follow us on social media, please. We're going to have a big giveaway to get to 5,000 followers on Instagram Black Friday.
Oh, cool.
Through the holidays. So,
unfortunately, I already follow. So,
see, Ryan also has his little beer blog thing too, and I do mine. We both have our little side gigs. Ryan, not as much anymore because
now that I have to do it for a brewery, I can't. I don't have time. But I could put a Funko Pop Bob Ross in every picture like I used to with Florida Craft Daddy.
Nice.
All right, well, Ryan, Keith from Dissent Craft, thank you so much for coming on the show. Next week, we should have a show?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm talking to a couple breweries. I've got a lot of people that are interested, but nobody's pulled the trigger yet. So I don't know if I'm going to take it off for the Thanksgiving break. I don't know. We'll see. Just keep following us on social media. We're at Florida Beer Blog on Instagram or Twitter. FL Beer Blog is on Facebook. You can email me at floridabeerblog@gmail.com. Ryan, Keith, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really do appreciate it. And everybody have a great day, great evening. Sorry, because it's dark out, because it's Florida and it's 6:45 at night.
Yeah.
And drink Florida Craft.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Dave. Steve.